Today's topic, part 2, is about citizenship.
How many of you are familiar with New Hampshire? Right, New Hampshire is a little bitty state. They're trying to make that a libertarian state. They've been working on it for the past 20-somewhat years, trying to get people, about 20,000 libertarians, to move to just and live in one state, so they can have an impact in one state. And that hasn't been working. Some people are moving, but it's not working. They're trying. There are some really people who are like energetic and visionaries. They're trying to do that, trying to move libertarians to New Hampshire. Right? But it's a tough deal, man, because we grow up with so different messages. Right? These messages stay with us. They become part and parcel of our implicit biases about different parties. And the two-party always is prominent in our mind. Right? In our mind.
One thing third-party candidates can do is pull votes away from Republicans and Democrats. In fact, a popular enough third-party candidate may be able to split or even tie the vote.
About some of the issues you're going to talk about, like the Trans-Pacific Partnership. And I want to get your views on both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Sure. But before I do, who will you be voting for, Ralph?
I never say who I vote for. I'm not certainly not going to vote for either Hillary or Trump. Listen, if I don't have a third party to vote for, I'll write in my vote. I will never vote for someone who is going to engage in illegal, armed force, unconstitutional killing innocent people, selling Washington to Wall Street, and driving our country into the ground, all the time sugarcoating the American people on TV with rhetoric.
So what actually happens if presidential candidates tie? So has this ever led to a tie? Yep, in 1800. At the time, there were fewer states, fewer people, and an odd rule where the winner of the election became president and the second runner-up became vice president. That'd be a little awkward today.
Ralph Nader, longtime consumer advocate, ran for president 4 times. So the idea that some people have that is very much pushed about swing state strategy, you don't agree with?
No, because it's very easy. Let's say you're in a swing state and you think that the least worst candidate is Hillary. What you do is you go with a Trump voter who thinks the Trump voter is the least, and you trade off. You say, look, you won't vote for Trump and I won't vote for Hillary. Let's make a deal, and then we'll vote for whoever we want to in terms of our conscience, third party or whatever. There are already computerized systems for this underway. You can actually join the network. And now get rid of that. But what Bernie Sanders never talks about is if we had proportional representation, instant runoff voting, all the spoiler stuff wouldn't be around. And the idea of calling a third-party spoiler, using the First Amendment right to run for office, as a politically bigoted word, and it should never be tolerated by the American people, because everyone has an equal right to run for office. Everyone's going to get votes from one another, so they're either spoilers of one another or none of them are spoilers.
It's crazy because we live in 2016, we should have better candidates, at least some people say. I don't know what that means. I don't know who's a better candidate.
Everyone has an equal right to run for office. Everyone's going to get votes from one another, so they're either spoilers of one another or none of them are spoilers.
People refer back to your presidential candidacy in the midst of the Al Gore, George W. Bush race back in 2000. Sure. Talk about you as the spoiler. You have always said this is absolutely wrong. Why?
Well, it's wrong from a First Amendment point of view. First of all, you should never tell anybody to shut up. And when you run for office, it's free speech, petition, and assembly. It's the consummate use of the First Amendment. But here, it's a scapegoating. The Democrats could never get over how they couldn't beat this bumbling governor from Texas who couldn't put a paragraph together and has a horrible record of children and women and pollution, et cetera, policy, right?
You're talking about George W.
George
Bush.
W. Bush. So they scapegoat the Greens. So here's how it goes. 300,000 registered Democrats in 2000 in Florida voted for Bush. Blame the Greens. Thousands of people were misidentified as ex-felons by Catherine Harris, the Secretary of State for Jeb Bush, governor of Florida. blame the Greens. The butterfly ballot, which is very deceptive and got people to vote for exactly the opposite candidate in South Florida, blame the Greens. Scalia's political 5-4 decision, which blocked the Florida Supreme Court's full recount in Florida, blame the Greens. The Electoral College took the victory in the popular vote from Gore, blame the Greens. Gore loses his Tennessee state, where he represented in Congress for years, blame the Greens. It's total scapegoating. It's disgusting that extremely smart people who happen to be Democratic Party apparatchiks, like Howard Jean, who's now in a corporate firm that lobbies for the healthcare and drug industry, by the way, and never identified as such by the New York Times and others who quote him, he's now reviving this 2000 nonsense.
So people are saying, man, what happened to us, right? We live, most people are informed, we have a highly educated population. What's going on? Why are people not running? Why aren't you all running?
You're a U.S. citizen and you're 35 or older.
Sure.
There you go.
There you go.
Throw your name on the ballot. Write it in.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I want to know if he's going to be a good leader or she's going to be a good leader.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's something that we need to be talking more about in classes, right? Because politics becomes a difficult topic. We don't talk about it in high school. We don't talk about it in elementary school. And we think, oh, they will make up their mind when they're 18 and 19 years old. By the time they reach 18, 19, it's too late to talk about some of these topics. You got to start early, right? Logically speaking, you say that as we are growing up, right, whatever we hear or we don't hear at a younger age are some of the things that we sort of build up on information, right? We build up information, right? And at some point we all did that to the Germans,
yeah.
right? World War I. We had sauerkrauts, right? Freedom fries, we started calling it freedom sauerkrauts because they used to call it German sauerkrauts, right? We changed the name because we didn't like the Germans at that time, right? So you have this sort of continuation, still that sense frustration there. And I hope that you all will talk. I hope you will talk to young people about this. And we need to be informed, right? Other thoughts on what's going on? Other thoughts? I'm hearing a lot of silence.
I personally don't like either one of them, especially after hearing this last low. I caught the end of it and I wasn't impressed with it.
Okay.
I expected more out of Hillary, I guess,
Yeah.
in that debate. And I actually, even though, one thing that stood out to me, and I know this is part of how people like, but Trump has said she spent however much money on advertising him to be such this bad person. And it's like, why do we spend so much money on all the negative stuff? And that's that's something that I caught like as soon as I walked in the door.
Sure.
And I was like, that made sense to me.
Okay. So what's the answer to that? There is an answer, actually. I don't know if it is right or wrong, but there is a response to that question. Yes.
Well, it's funny because some people at my job viewed it that way, and like instantly I wish I was there, because I wanted to say, well, he gets to say it on the road and wherever he's at. He says whatever he wants about anybody he wants, and nobody combats him, says, hey, you shouldn't talk like that. He just says it anywhere he is. And her way to do it is with the advertisement, because she can be disconnected from it.
Okay.
You know, that's the only way she can fight him the way he's fighting, because he can be on this stuff and say, like, make fun of a handicapped person, or he can say something disrespectful about a woman. If she did that on the stump, it'd be over for her. But he can do it. He feels like he can say what he wants when he wants. Okay. And then as soon as somebody says something about him, or there's an advertisement about, he's crying about it. But that
have done a research on. When psychologists and others were asked, why is it that Americans are so drawn to negative advertisements? And what they're saying is that In America, there is an appetite for that. You don't want to see good things. If people are praising someone, people are like, yeah, whatever. That's expected for us to praise people. That's just a normal thing that we are supposed to do. But if you are attacking someone, people are drawn to it, partly because some say it's in our life we don't have a lot of drama. So we want drama, right? Drama keeps driving us. And so we go to places like, what is that, Valley Fair. And then we come down that crazy thing, and then we scream like we are in danger. Ah! You're not in danger, you're strapped down. Shut up. And, right, we're strapped down, right? So our lives are so, some people say, very tamed. So we are looking for, that's why movies, right? These disastrous movies. We watch all these crime movies. How many of you know people who are like, man, that's my show. I got it. No. You know none of that is real. If you're in police, law enforcement, you know it takes a long while for any investigation. It took us 27 years to get this dude who is still living in the same neighborhood. The couch and said, I know who the murderer is. By blood, we're drawn to those things. Right? Drawn to it. And that's how we sometimes are engaged in what are war pornography, right? We like to do this. We like to watch things that are bloody, right? And you get excited. It's like as if you're watching porn. Right? In the war theater, they do that. They go out, fight, they come back, they watch people getting blown up, and then they got all excited, they go out there and fight. We do a similar thing. We like those kinds of movies. When was the last time you all watched a movie that had no blood, no fight, just people talking, people hanging out, people drinking coffee? You would turn it off, right? I mean, am I wrong? Like, man, where's the action? You go to a hockey game, you want to see some wrestling match break up. People get excited about things like this. So that's part of it. That's not the total explanation, but that's part of it, right? That's part of it. So negativity sells. Negative advertisements sell.
I'm not gonna play, really?
Right? But let's remember this, right? If Hillary Clinton becomes the president, she will be the first woman president in the most developed country in the world. Right? We are the most developed country in the world. We're the richest country in the world. We're the most powerful country in the world. We have some of the best universities in the world. Technologically, we are advanced. Huh? Right? No, but all of these also speaks very clearly about the statement you made. Why don't we have a woman president?
All right, I'm back. That's right, it's Jimmy's Rage. Hey, today's topic, part 2, is about citizenship. We'll be talking about a number of issues in regards to things such as body cams, video. We'll be also talking about third-party candidates. We'll be talking about who's right. Along with that also, we'll be mentioning such things as Stand Up for America, along with other things concerning who, what, why, when, and where is it necessary to be a good citizen. With all that being said, we want to say it's up to you because this is your country. Anything and everything that happens, we're responsible for. In the event that there's candidates that you don't like, don't gripe. If you don't like it, do something about it. Instead of talking about the present administration, be the administration, because absolutely the administration actually is us government. We are government. So start governing yourself. With all of that being said, you know what? It pisses me off, and with that, I'm out of here.
Patriotism is a very hard topic to deal with because most people like to use it as a weapon as opposed to the shield that it's supposed to be. In my mind, patriotism means that you love your country. Not necessarily government, but the country. You love the rivers, you love the waters, the mountains, the sand, the beaches, and even the people, you know. One of the things about this country is that you can go from coast to coast and find so many different types of people in regard to ethnicities, culture, you know, beliefs, so forth and so on, religions. And it just makes for the most wonderful, wonderful dish you can ever think of. No chef sits down and tries to cook a gourmet meal using only one ingredient. That's ridiculous. And I think that this country is a beautiful blending of set ingredients. You know, you have Italians over here, Spaniards over here, Jews over there, and well, I should say Israelis. Jews are religion. It's not a nationality, you know. But you know, and then you have Africans, and when you blend that all together, you come up with the most wonderful stew in the world. So I think we should celebrate that in every facet possible. And if you consider yourself a citizen, don't get angry when you have to pay taxes. Get angry when the person that got $1 billion doesn't pay taxes. You have a right to be angry about that. If you're a citizen, don't drive down the road, see someone in need, and you just drive by them. I mean, how does that work? Brotherhood begins in the heart. You know, I mean, we can say, yeah, you wasn't born from the same mother as I, so you're not my brother. Or you can say, you know what? We're like-minded, so yes, in point of fact, you are my brother. Now, this may be a bit of a rambling, however, I do hold this to be true. So, you know, as the great Abraham Lincoln once said, you know, we are one nation, under one God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, that being said, I want to thank you for listening to my perspective. And you did. What does one say? Peace to you, good tidings, my fellow Americans. This is Saran's perspective. Back to you, Jimmy.
And when Trump said she doesn't have the stamina, I mean, what is he talking about? Like she cannot run 26 miles? I think 3/4 of America can't run 26 miles. Right? Most of us gasp coming up this stairway right here. Right? I mean, I hear people gasping. Is that the stamina is he talking about? But it's a dog whistle, right? When I say stamina, what does that really mean in this case? She's a woman, so she doesn't have the stamina because she's not emotionally strong enough to deal with those people who are gonna come argue with them. That's what he's saying. It's a dog whistle politics, right? So it's a way to put you down, but I'm just gonna call it stamina. And you know, people know what I'm talking about. He's not talking about stamina of running, working out. Dude doesn't work out. I don't think he does. Right? I mean, he might be. I don't know. What? Huh? What?
That he works out his mouth.
Oh. Whatever it is, right? So that word is a very subtle way of getting people to say, "Oh, she's a woman." So it's what Haney Lopez called dog whistle politics. How many of you think that we can bring all the manufacturing job back to America? Right? Why does it sell? Yeah, let's bring back all the jobs. All these manufacturing jobs. Do the work, right? We can't wait for Superman. You are the heroes and the sheroes who is going to make the difference.
Did they do a comparison?
Huh?
Did they do a comparison in other communities of the trust?
Sure. So in general, what they found is that majority white communities trust cops more. Majority minority communities don't have lesser trust. Go ahead, man. Sure. Throw it out.
Does that show the difference between minority communities not trusting police in general, or not trusting only white police officers, or minority police officers?
Law enforcement in general.
So I was wondering if there was a difference whether, I know they've been saying too, even if the cop is a minority, black, then they still don't trust him?
Law enforcement, the institution. Right, the institution. You had something to say.
Well, I think it's a cultural difference too. I just think minorities, especially blacks, they think the police are always just against them, and the media doesn't help with that either, just with all the things that are. And I think when it comes to, if it's a white cop working in a white neighborhood, of course, they're gonna trust the cops. I think that's just the difference. And majority of the police officers are white, so I think anybody would have known the answer.
Those bills were written. That's all good, but we still have that divide. Right? Communities are much more divided, much more wounded. And I hope in this class what we are doing is to learn and become aware of what can we do, because you have solutions in your book. Right? You have solutions in that book. And how do we take that solution written in there and play it out, make it a reality? How do we build relationships between officers and citizens? Because this is, again, goes back to the debate. What did Mr. Trump say?
Stop and frisk.
Stop and frisk. We need law and order. What is that term? How many of you know the history of that term? What is it?
Stop and frisk is in Ohio is reasonable suspension when you kind of stop and frisk.
Right?
Talking about like Terry stop and all that.
Sure. Right? That's a law, Ohio, right?
Yeah.
But what this is about is that, what the Supreme Court decided was that if you have a reasonable suspicion, you can stop someone, right? You can stop. But stop and frisk was established as a way to control a community. So anyone who is in this particular zone in Manhattan, right, will be frisked for the most part. If you even reasonably look suspicious, right, whatever that means, right? If you have sagging pants, you're suspicious. So 97% of the youth of color, black and Latinos, have been stopped and frisked. 97% has ruled it as the constitutional violation. So I mean, we have that, right? So what Trump is used that dog whistle, law and order, and people understand this. What is that term was used right after what? The signing of the Civil Rights Law. When the Civil Rights Bill was signed, they say that people in the South, especially minority communities, are going to go crazy. We need law and order. Right? That term was used, and now it has become part and parcel of people still use them. Right? President Reagan used it to tell certain groups of people that I am going to save you. And Mr. Trump realizes that word works, so he's going to use it. Right? It's a dog whistle politics. I don't know if it's going to be different, right? What is law and order?
TV show.
Yeah. Right? It's a TV show. I don't have a sense of what is law and order. Right? So I'm glad we are thinking about it. You all, please, right? I beg you to think about it. Don't walk. Your life is politics. If you're born here, it's politics. Right? It's politics. So we gotta take control of it. We gotta stand, lean into it.
If you don't like it, do something about it. So start governing yourself.
As opposed to lean out of it. You know, and if there's lack of information, and that's what we're growing up with. Right? And then all of a sudden it hits you and you have to be in Afghanistan fighting a war that started way back when you were in 5th grade.
Yep. And the thing of it was, is, you know, the school told the teachers, don't let them know what's going on. Our teachers, they showed us, they were like, you're gonna watch this, because this is gonna affect your life, whether you're going to war or not. This is gonna change your life.
Saran! Saran, hey, you're going the wrong way. No, not that way. Saran, that's 2015. No, you're going the wrong way. Come back. All right, that's right. This way. Okay, 2015, 2016.
You guys, man. Oh, here?
No, not that way.
No, to the left.
Here?
Yeah, right there.
Hey, you guys. This is Saran. Happy New Year. I want all you guys to remember.
Hope that you made it well through 2016.
Don't do what I did. I went out, I got hammered. I caused myself a whole bunch of stress behind that. I got a DUI. I may not be driving for another year or so. Blood alcohol level was, I broke the meter. I didn't know that was a registration, but the cops said that's what it was, so I don't know what to tell you. If you got a drink, please have a designated driver.
That's it, 2017.
2017 is the new year. If my resolution is never to drink again. Please don't shout. It hurts. So I want to wish everyone a very happy new year. Jimmy and I.
We here at Less Stress for You and I hope that you're going to have a wonderful, happy, healthy, prosperous new year.
Want to wish everyone a very productive, very stress-free new year. Now, some of you may think that's difficult because we got a new president, some voted for and some may not have voted for. But listen, that'll last 4 years, okay? So don't stress it out. We can vote someone in again, or maybe you'll like him and maybe we'll vote him in again. Who knows what the man will do? But don't do what I did. And I try to drink my problems away. That really doesn't work. Ow. Does anyone have an aspirin? No? No one?
Not your mom, not your dad, not your uncle, not your brother.
Hair of the dog? Why would I want dog hair? What? Oh, that's more liquor? No. Thank you very much. Anyway, listen. Less stress for you and I. Happy New Year. We think about you. We care about you.
Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
Jimmy and I wish you the best 2017 you could possibly have.
With that, I'm out of here.